In this game, you can't for one moment think you are safe and completely trusted, as your status in the game can change in the blink of an eye, as one faithful found this out for themselves. Fresh from the hurt of Rhea being unmasked as a traitor, Jericho seemed to have moved away from his suspicions of Coco and is now looking at Meredith, which is funny because Meredith was also looking at Jericho as a traitor. A breakfast moment involving the pair would end up being more pivotal than it should have. Jericho was first to breakfast with Dom and Meredith and didn't want to reveal if he had taken the shield or not, saying with only Dom and Meredith there that he wanted to reveal it in confidence, then revealing it when more players entered, then saying he intended to do it when everyone was there, just showed an inconsistency that would later be used against him. Some players were starting to look at Jericho differently, which was a stark contrast to naming him one of the players they trusted the most. Also at breakfast, Meredith nearly slipped by calling Charla by pet name. How much longer do you think they can go without revealing their relationship to anyone? In regards to the latest murdered faithful, I wanted the traitors to take the chance and go for Sarah Nicole because I felt she was dangerous to their game. It was understandable why they didn't, given the fact they didn't know Sarah Nicole had a shield. Instead of taking that chance, they went for Shaughnessy. Shaughnessy was shown to be a quiet player, and the edit wasn't too kind as she was mostly shown when suspicions were on her. There was part of me that was disappointed by the move, as I didn't think it did anything other than get rid of someone who was no longer useful in whatever way. There was always a cloud hovering over Shaughnessy due to previous suspicions, though for some she was either taken off the list or moved further down. Seeing as Shaughnessy was named along with Coco by Kevin before he was banished, this could have the potential to have suspicions of Coco dissolve even further. Waiting this long would most likely work in Coco's favour than if they had eliminated Shaughnessy earlier in the game. For the mission, they needed to work in teams of 2 and look for gold coins hidden around the manor, then place them on top of the named barrel they think is the answer to Kareen's questions. The sticking points were that they had to guess how the traitors had answered the question, and the traitors could have messed around with their choice. The pairs would need to do all this while being chained to each other. This mission had the potential to ruffle some feathers. After I was struggling to understand Rhea's gameplay, I have another player that's taken the baton from the now banished Rhea. I understand Lisette using Meredith and maybe to a lesser extent Charla to keep herself in the game. The bit I don't understand is what she said about Meredith out loud in front of others. In the previous mission, Lisette said she trusted Meredith, but in this mission Lisette put her coins on Meredith's barrel for who she thinks is a traitor. If this was a play to use their previous battles as a way to keep them both in, then her flip-flopping won't help Lisette. The traitors picking Coco's name for the traitor question might end up being another move that helps take the heat off her. Lisette was quite vocal in saying that Coco's name being picked proved she was a faithful because the traitors wouldn't put their name down. Well, in this case they have, and the plan is working. While looking for gold coins, Charla, Hollywood and Venus found a shield. There was a lot of strategic chat about if they were telling people if they have the shield because one shield could potentially protect a pair of players. Dom decided to use Hollywood's shield to say he had it. The aim was for the others to think Dom was playing messily and was failing to protect Hollywood, so if they took a shot at Hollywood, they would miss. I thought Dom was only going to tell a couple of people, but he told everyone at the same time. It won't exactly weed anyone out by telling the whole group. Before the round table, what was clear to me was that a faithful was going to get banished. It was just a matter of which one, though one seemed odds on while another was an outside bet. Meredith was one of the main people saying Jericho is a traitor, while her continuation of talking about him had the potential to put a target on her back. At the round table, Jericho and Meredith were the main names, while Jamal continued with his suspicions of Kara. While Jericho started the round table off, things didn't end well for him. As Jericho said,
"The most faithful of the faithful has just been banished."
Oh, how quickly things turn. Finding out you were close to a traitor seems to be doing bad things for faithfuls. First it was Omar who found himself banished the night after Kevin, and now Jericho has been banished the night after Rhea. The faithful numbers are dwindling, while the traitors are looking to be in a better situation than they were a couple of episodes ago. The traitors were given a murder in plain sight with a twist. They were to find the cursed shield hiding behind a skull painting and give it to the faithful they want to murder. At first I was wondering how on earth were they going to pull that off? Even with the added dimension of all those who had found one of the earlier shields needing to pass theirs to someone else, I was still wondering how the traitors were going to pull this off. Things were so out in the open, and Coco and Venus's behaviour was starting to catch the eye of one or two faithfuls, though it was mainly Venus's behaviour that had Charla raising their eyebrows. This was not the time for Venus to play dumb, as it wasn't the kind of thing that would be hard to understand. Venus has definitely put the spotlight on herself with her acting. Not only am I wondering if the traitors actually managed to pull this murder in plain sight off, but who will fall victim of it, and has Venus played herself into being banished next?